Well, good morning, and thanks for joining us today.
It's a good morning. You know why? For several weeks, this was part of the show. We would talk about this young woman from Lincoln named Hannah Huston, right? This would be the segment, and we'd do updates on The Voice. Well, today the Voice finalist joins us right here on the couch. Hannah Huston, great to meet you.
Good morning.
Good to see you.
Hi.
Are you glad to be back in Nebraska?
Yeah, it feels really good to be home. I've been away for so long.
Did you forget about what Nebraska was like?
I never forget where I come from. No, it's been fun to visit my restaurants and my places, and being back is good.
And your people.
Oh yeah,
right?
I have people all over, and I'm meeting more people. You know, random people who've gotten to know me through the show, and so I get to know them now.
Frame up the journey for us. The last few months. How do you describe it?
Busy. It was a lot. I mean, it was a lot of work. I learned a lot of new songs, performed on a live stage for the first time ever. I returned back to the show in March, and that was kind of the first time I had one-on-one coaching with Pharrell. And then I worked on, you know, this new song and sang on live television, and that's when all the voting happens, you know. So it wasn't up to the coaches anymore. It was up to America, and so it kind of just shifted the whole competition.
Yeah, Hannah, you said, and these are your words, you literally came out of nowhere. Listen, I've been in a band for 20 years and haven't received any type of the success that you've had. You literally really never performed live a lot. And for you to get this far in The Voice, it's got to be surreal.
It is a big jump. And I always loved music, and I loved singing, and that was always a huge part of who I was. It just wasn't... I don't know, it wasn't public yet. It wasn't this thing that I was sharing with a lot of people. And so, yeah, when I was in Lincoln and kind of wrapping up college, that's when I started to sing at little shows with some of my dear friends, and we just put together just some different stuff. And then later I started writing, but I was teaching in my second year and got an email from The Voice. And
They
I was
emailed
like,
you?
Yeah.
How did they find out about you? Did somebody email them? Have you...
So they pair with like these casting agencies, and so I had written a song with my friend Crystal Davey for an NPR Tiny Desk contest, and so we were just having fun with this contest, and months after we had submitted it, we get this email, or I get this email asking if I would go to The Voice, this little mini trial in Omaha, and I deleted it twice. And then finally they emailed a friend of mine, and then I finally was like, I should probably read this.
Right.
So yeah.
Why'd you delete it? Because you're like,
I thought it was spam. I thought it was just a joke. So I just let it go. I was like, I don't need to read that. And then, yeah, as it kind of kept coming to me, my friend Nick Goodwin was like, you probably should read this.
This is legitimate.
Yeah.
Check it out.
For real.
Take us back to the finale, because that night, it seemed magical. I mean, I remember you and the dress and the whole thing. And
the dress.
I mean, that night, put it in context for us. The feeling on stage as you were standing there with the other finalists, those performances, what was it like?
It was such a cool moment for us. The top four, we had been there throughout the whole show. We were ending the whole show. And we had this moment in the tent where all of us were kind of standing around. We just like held hands, just kind of just encouraging one another, like this is the end. You know, whatever happens, happens. So I was just super proud of everybody, but it was a bittersweet evening because it was the last time we were all going to do that. And I got to wear the long red dress.
I got to tell you, Hannah, I got chills so many times listening to you sing. But there was something about your voice. I said, whatever she does, I will buy every album she does.
Oh, thank you.
Well, you talk about chills. I remember getting chills when you sang House of the Rising Sun. I think that was probably my favorite performance. Do you have a performance that stood out to you most?
I think this one.
This one?
This one was just, this song worked. It was crazy. It worked for my voice. I also really liked When a Man Loves a Woman. That was also a favorite.
Yeah, I like that one too.
You and Pharrell, you smiled. The biggest smile you've given us this morning was when you mentioned him.
I love
You had an amazing
Pharrell.
relationship.
Yeah, he's great. He was a huge part of like why I enjoyed it so much was because he was just so in tune with who I was, and we just connected. It was just a great coach.
You two wrote a song together.
You did. It was funny because watching him, you could really see in his eyes that he believed in you.
Yes.
And I guess that's part of it. So you wrote this song together.
Yeah.
Tell us about it. How'd that come about?
He showed up to rehearsal, and at that time I was sitting with the music director, and we were trying to figure out a song for me to sing. And at that time, I think we're on to like, I was thinking of a Bee Gees song. I was like, oh, I could sing some Bee Gees on the last night. And Pharrell walks in, and we're having this conversation, and he walks in and goes, Hannah, I wrote you a song this morning. I don't know if you'll like it, but I need you to like help me finish it. And I was like, are you serious? I was like completely shocked. So like the next couple of days, we made time to go to the studio, and we finished writing this song and put it together in like 2 nights, and then it was crazy.
It's called I Call the Shots.
It's called I Call the Shots.
I know you're not allowed to sing technically here this morning.
No.
Are you allowed to sing like one line?
No.
Like the hook for I Call the
Mary,
Shots?
she can't sing.
Not even
I know,
close.
exactly. Yeah,
You can watch it on
It's
YouTube.
that one part. Oh,
Oh, yeah.
I know.
He threw
I
that
just
out
sounded
there.
like I was calling animals to the studio.
It's so
There was
funny.
such a cool, and we were all singing it the next day. I'm like, you know it's a hit.
It
when
is.
it won't escape your head.
So true. He knows how to do that, apparently.
He does.
He's
Well,
really new, you know, to the whole writing songs business. He's
Yeah,
a real
right.
up-and-comer.
Yeah,
Sure,
right,
sure
right.
thing.
He can do it for real.
How did it feel to get support from your students? Because that was the other thing that I felt like when I saw your heart on the show, it's when
Yeah.
you talked about your kids.
I mean, that was just a huge leap from the teaching world to this music show, and leaving was really hard. I hesitated for a long time to leave to go audition, and
When did you leave? What month was that? In the school year? Put it in
yeah,
context.
so my first like little tryout was in LA in August, so I missed the first week of school, and that was called the executive audition. That's where you go sing in front of all the producers of the show, just to hear about your story and just see what you have. And then they asked me to come back in October to film Blinds. And so I couldn't tell anybody where I was going, except my principal, Mr. Wilkins, knew, and the district office knew. But I left and was gone for, I think, a month, just because there's so much that goes into the Blinds.
Yeah.
And then I think in November, they came and filmed at the school, and all that happened, and then they pieced that all together, and then it finally aired in, what, January?
Yeah. Well, let's thank Mr. Wilkins for letting you
Yes,
go.
Mr.
Wilkins, thank you very
Shout
much.
out.
Okay, you're going to stick around a little bit, right? We're going to talk to you a
Sure.
little bit because I
Okay.
know that we've talked a lot about what's happened. After the break, we're going to talk. We're going to hear get some of our viewer questions. We asked viewers to ask questions for Hannah. We're going to read some of those.
And they've
I'm
got some good
excited.
ones, so that's coming up right after the break.